be a very respectful matchup, very competitive. Good chance for both of these teams to test each other early in the season.
To be fair, Duke at number 17, I think we both agree, Cedric, that Duke is better than number 17 in the country, as we'll take a knee and pause for a moment.
Yes, Dean, to your point, very rare you see a team win their first 2 games and drop 5 spots in the polls. So again, a big test tonight. Undoubtedly, these Blue Devils will come with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder.
Duke in their Duke blue, white and Duke blue socks. Michigan in their maize blue and maize socks. As we are underway here at Koskinen Stadium. Duke 2-0, Michigan 1-1. They got that win over Gonzaga, but they fell to Duquesne, a game where they completely dominated in shots, in corners, in every statistical category except the one that mattered, as Duquesne got a 1-0 lead. Shaka Daly telling Cedric and myself that a little bit of nerves taking play as Michigan is playing a lot of youngsters.
A lot of youngsters, but they're very experienced youngsters. I mean, most of these youngsters came up through formal either USL or MLS academies and have played against the full teams and have had quality training. So they're young, but they're experienced and seasoned.
So Michigan led in goal by Hayden Evans, a sophomore from McLean, Virginia, Laurel Springs High School, and Duke led in goal by Elliot Hamill, a grad student from Scarsdale, New York, Edgemont High School. And Cedric, you're telling me he's a big-time leader.
He's a big-time leader. He's a very high-character young man. He's the guy that rallies the troops and pulls them together. Duke has very good leadership in terms of their captains, but it all starts with Hamill in the goal. Figuratively, literally.
Michigan getting in yesterday, practicing on the campus of Duke University. Shaka later that night, as we mentioned, their friends got together with John Kerr Jr., got together with one of their former coaches and a couple other friends. Good night in Durham last night for Shaka and John Kerr Jr. Just a minute and a half in, headed away. Jens Hoff, a great story. He has been in the program quite some time, but has not seen a ton of time, but has stepped up now as part of that 3-back system. We're seeing more 3-back systems. I feel like Duke is one of the best at that 3-back system, and they have been for quite some time.
Definitely an evolution of the game in general. As we've seen in college soccer, the wingbacks become more skillful and become more incorporated in the offense. So the higher you can get them up the field, and that 3-back system allows those wingbacks to get high.
Good shot here. Sorry, just missing right there as the shot from Bryce Blevins on a tight angle, and an early opportunity here for Michigan.
Yeah, just like that quickly Michigan can get the offense going. We see this ball come through the midfield, collected well, and a quick trigger shot, just missed the corner.
So nice start here for Michigan, taking advantage of getting it into the 18 earlier. There's Hoff. Now Taylor is taken over as the center forward in this system for John Kerr Jr.
And Scotty Taylor's a guy, he's a confidence-driven player. You know, he's had some very streaky moments. He's a quality young man, and he's got an opportunity this season. Jadine, another forward who potentially could be a starter's hurt right now. Scotty's getting a lot of extra minutes. He was electric during the preseason with 2 goals. Scored in the first game of the season, so expecting a lot out of Scotty.
Yeah, to be fair, we wanted to have 4 players in the open. We wanted Scotty, Shakur, Stroud, and Periano, because all 4 of them up top have been outstanding to start the season.
They have been. They combined very well. They had a lot of chemistry from playing together last season, some of them over the summer. They're coming in a very confident and purpose-driven group.
Duke wins it back. The engine of the team, wearing that number 8 jersey, one of the best players in the country, in my opinion, Peter Stroud, a junior, Chester, New Jersey.
In my opinion, and I may be slightly biased, I think Peter Stroud is hands down the best player in the country. You're right, he's the locomotive that runs this team. He's a box-to-box type of player. Coach Kerr wants him to. He has a green light to find his space in the field. Early in the season, he's drifted wide a little too much sometimes. In Coach Kerr's opinion, we expect him to stay a little more central this game, as we can see already, and really look to link these lines.
Here they go. They try to find Stroud. And you see one of the captains for Michigan, Iñaki Rodriguez from Santiago, Chile, wearing one of the captain's armband. Kevin Buca will also wear the captain's armband. He'll be the smallest player on the field, but has an enormous heart for the Michigan Wolverines. He wears number 19, and he'll feature over on the right side for Shaka Daly's Michigan team. They go over the top, and the offside flag is up as they try to find Daly. Let's start for the keys of the game here, Cedric, and we'll start for Shaka Daly. These are directly from the coaches, so this is what Shaka had to say are the keys for Michigan to get a win right here.
Yeah, so I was very impressed with Coach Daly. I mean, one thing he said that really resonated, well, he's got 3 points. We're going to handle the heat, let the game settle down. As we saw, this game was played in the air early on. It's already settled down. Contain Duke's big three. We already went through them. You got to contain Scotty Taylor, Shaq, and Peter Stroud coming through the middle, and then minimize the effectiveness of Tina Lopez in the back, who really can spring the offense from the center back position, has taken a major step forward. He's one of Duke's captains, really unites this young defense and communicates well. Another thing Coach said that really was impressive was we have to be a team of 1s, 2s, and 3s, the ABCs of soccer. We win the first balls. If you don't win the first ball, you have to be there for the second, and we always have to have a third man running to be available.
Phenomenal breakdown of Shaka Daly's keys. We also spoke with John Kerr Jr. yesterday as well. Hang on here as Daly starts the attack. He'll put it in the middle to Hot, making a great run is Masalis, and he almost made a 1-0, just missed it on the outside as Ruben Masalis coming off an outstanding weekend, the sophomore from Sarasota, Florida. Now we'll go to the keys for John Kerr and the Duke Blue Devils.
Coach Kerr's keys, keep pushing the envelope. Coach Kerr has said from day one, this is a team that wants to score first, score second, score third, and continue to break teams early on. Understand the moments, understand the moments of how the game is flowing. And we can see already, we just saw in this play, with 2 successive plays, Duke has made a consistent effort to get those wingbacks involved. We saw Amir Daly on the right a few moments ago, then we just saw Ruben Marsalis come through with that shot. That is the key to this offense, is getting those wingbacks involved early and often, so it opens up the middle for Peter Stroud and others to do their work.
Actually, there was a little bit of mistake there, but I think it actually does make sense because you're with Tobacco Road FC. You had a lot of these players that kind of snuck into the keys accidentally, but I'll tell you what, it shaped some of these players for this season.
It's kind of ironic how that worked out. Yes, we were fortunate enough to have 6 or 7 of these young men in with us this summer, and very high level, raise the entire level of our group. And they performed well, they're fit, they came in motivated, they were clear throughout the summer what their goals were and what they wanted to accomplish as individuals as well as this team. The culture on this team is extremely strong. They know what they're here for. They got a taste of it last postseason. They know what it takes to get there. They're working to get back again.
Duke making it all the way to the Sweet 16, and don't forget they made it to the ACC tournament final as well. A banner season for the Duke Blue Devils. In fact, because of that, there's a little bit of awestruck, a little bit of disappointment in their preseason ACC ranking. And as we already talked about, and I'm sorry, folks, but I'm going to complain a little bit. I do not think that they should drop down to 17. I mean, I feel like this is a top 15 team, if not a top 10 team in the country.
Well, I think from a coaching perspective, Coach Kerr prefers it. They can have a little bit of an underdog mentality, and there's some bulletin board material. But yes, Dean, it's a testament to the strength of the ACC that you can be picked 4th in your conference and be ranked 12th in the country coming out of the gate.
Shakir Muhammad dropping it off to Periano. Those two have been in unison. Good ball across, looking for Masalis, and a good run. And there's Buka protecting that back post. If Buka doesn't make that run, Masalis has it in 1-0. That's twice now Masalis has found some joy running on that left side, so look out for that. Stroud. Periano, who's been about as good as you can be to start the season.
Periano has been absolute lights out to start the season. What I've noticed is he's gotten tougher. He's winning the 50-50 balls. Maybe he didn't win at times last year. He's always been an extremely skillful player, but he has a different type of presence this year on the field.
Hayden Evans earned the job last year as a freshman, replacing Owen Finnerty, the son of Goose Finnerty, one of the legends of the indoor game in the state of Michigan. Owen Finnerty now has transferred to Michigan State, and it's Hayden Evans' job.
We've seen early on in the first couple of offensive plays by Duke, Hayden's done a great job organizing that box. We can hear him communicating. Defense is responding well.
Muhammad thought he had a decent beat on that angled pass to Taylor, but just a little bit too out front. This will come all the way back to Hamill.
Now, what's interesting is Coach Daly told us that Michigan was not going to press very high initially. Wanted to make sure there was plenty of space for them to build the attack. But we can see early they're coming out on fire. I mean, they're pressing Duke hard and fast. We saw them going at Tino Lopez, trying to isolate and make him choose one side of the field. So they're not backing down from this challenge this evening.
And off of that, a great run from Kevin Buka playing that right wing back position. He's had 2 great defensive plays, made a pretty good run there. The pass was not delivered, but look for Buka to make that run on that right side.
Buka's a very disciplined player. You know, as you said, defensively, he gets back appropriately, covers space, but measures his runs and steps up when needed on the outside and doesn't leave himself out of position to recover if they lose it.
Yeah, he's one of those players that Shaka Daly said he'll always have time for, whether on the soccer field or off the soccer field. And he's one of those guys that will just walk right up to you and look you right in the eyes and keep eye contact the entire time. And you don't see that every day these days, and I love it out of him.
No, and one thing Coach Daly said was he's extremely honest. You know, he's extremely honest, he's extremely accountable, holds his teammates accountable, and he's truthful. And you're right, that's not something that we see in this generation all the time, so it definitely is noticeable when it stands out.
Played over the top. Way out front is Hayden Evans. Uh-oh, the danger man here, Shakir Muhammad. One of the best at playing it into his own space, then getting it and taking a shot or making an extra pass. Here's Muhammad again. Buka trying to battle with Muhammad.
Now, what we've seen early on is Duke's a small ball team. They want to put the ball in the field and play. Connect through the midfield and build it, but we've seen this ball over the top to Scotty now 2 or 3 times, really, which will open up, and really that's the result of Michigan pressing so hard. We see the ball to Scotty, and even if he's not winning it, Duke has runs right in between, and Michigan is not able to get out of their defensive third.
45th consecutive season by the Duke men's soccer program, with at least one All-ACC honoree a year ago, as the team has had one every year since 1973. That's pretty incredible.
Measure of consistency.
Axel Gudbjornsson, who scored his first goal as a member of the Duke Blue Devil in that 4-0 win over UW Milwaukee. And the good thing about that game as well is they were so far ahead that they were able to move Gudbjornsson into center back, which is where he'll eventually be. I mean, when you're 6'4" and can move like him, you look more comfortable at center back, but he's done a really nice job as one of the outside center backs. Michigan now doing a really good job running angles. And here's Buka to clean it up. Buka's got a chance to get it back in there. Pacelli is right in front of the 6. They'll give it back to Rodriguez. Rodriguez now back to Buka. Buka will knock it out of bounds, and that's good work from Michigan. Quick transition.
That was a great ball across the frame of the box. Pacelli was just a toe away from getting on that.
Throw in from Buka. Michigan looking for the foul, doesn't get it. It'll come back to Duke. Throw in to the Blue Devils. Duke returning the reigning ACC Freshman of the Year in Shakir Muhammad and the reigning Midfielder of the Year in Peter Stroud.
Don't stand, Jens. Backward came from Zach. Backward came from Zach.
Muhammad.
Why are we trying to bring it down there?
Always in the right place at the right time. You can see how much respect he gets. Nobody dives in on that young man.
No, you learn that lesson pretty quickly. He's one of the shiftiest and most creative players in the college game.
Aceto, another youngster, 2 freshmen alongside Lopez, and both of them playing well beyond their years in school. They have looked outstanding as part of this 3-back system, which, to be fair, Cedric, and you've been around the game a long time, it's not that easy to play with 3 backs. It takes a different kind of communication, and yet Duke has mastered it, and more importantly, they've now done it with 2 freshmen back there.
Well, they have, and this was a transition that really happened in the spring season. Duke played a 4-4-2 last year, and, you know, based on personnel this year and some of the talented young men, especially along that wing again, it made sense to switch, and I watched them switch throughout the spring, and there was some hiccups, but fully staffed with these young men, and it looks great. I mean, it is a very hard formation to learn. It is different. It's not intuitive. As a center back, you're used to having 2 in the middle and opening up in certain positions, and having 3, essentially, it is a challenge, but they're doing a very good job of it. Again, cannot understate the job that Tino Lopez has done as a unifier in the center of that 3-back in terms of helping these young men, bringing them along, setting the standard. He's communicating better. He's finding passing lanes and showing an overall calmness in terms of leadership.
Dean Linke along with Cedric Burke, a former player at Duke and now the technical director and coach for Tobacco Road FC. got to be great for you to stay connected with this team in your role and call these games. It's got to be exciting for you.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. You see the game from a different perspective. I've formed relationships with a lot of these young men, and it's just it's a good time.
Rodriguez, his captain armband almost ripped off there. Tried to make an angle pass. They'll win it back. Nope, the referee will call the foul. As coming in a little bit too aggressively there was Bryce Blevins, the junior from Plainfield, Illinois. One shot per team so far. Muhammad gives it right back to Stroud. Stroud was trying to thread the needle to Taylor. Defended well by Michigan. Stroud keeps it. He'll give it back to Masalis. This Masalis-Buka matchup is going to be a fun one to watch.
That will be a matchup we'll be watching throughout the evening. Masalis was the number 4 ranked recruit last year in the country. Just a very skillful wingback. At times drifted a little too much. He looks very disciplined this season in his role and knowing where he needs to be on and off the ball.
Yeah, he's been good. Really impressed in the John Rennie Nike Invitational this past weekend. And here is the big man from Reykjavik, Iceland, Axel Gudbjornsson. Right down the middle, shot, and a save there by Evans. A great shot by Hott, and perhaps a better save by Evans. It'll be a corner kick Duke.
So sometimes it's the small intangibles that make players great. If we notice Peter Stroud leaves this ball, we'll see it on the replay, opens up Kenny Hott for a clear lane. Hott did a great job collecting that ball, had a great shot. That's a good save.
Big time shot, big time save. Well said, Cedric. Back across, and Evans, good left-handed punch. That's all he could really do right there. As Evans with the save, and now a pretty good punch as Michigan under pressure here from the home team, the Duke Blue Devils.
And if we notice, Duke is really trying to back Michigan into their defensive third. In that play, Duke had every player within a 40-yard span of the goal.
Bjornsson to Muhammad. Masalis, and then they'll bring it all the way back. Right now, Aceto has switched just because they came forward in that last opportunity. Daly, no handball. Daly still Dyson, slicing. Yo, Taylor. Oh my goodness, the goal was open as Evans was drawn, of course, to Daly, who was slicing and dicing. And I think Taylor missed a sitter, I'm not sure.
So great individual effort by Amir Daly. He beat 3 guys inside the box, kept his composure, finds a wide open Scotty. I think Scotty just didn't get a hit on that. He definitely just missed a sitter from the box. Got to have a short-term memory and shake that one off and get back in the game.
Woo! Wow! Daly was shredding maize and blue in and around the 6, and Taylor, was he trying to go behind the back right there? I mean, what was he
think he just didn't get right-footed and didn't have his composure, and he just simply mishit it.
All right, like you said, short memory, and Michigan needs to tighten things up just a little bit.
And it's unfortunate with such a great individual effort in the box from Amir Daly, he doesn't get rewarded. They'll get back in there.
Rodriguez, and Michigan does enough to now earn a throw-in, so good job by Michigan to shake that off and get right back on the attack. To Shaka Daly's credit, he said Michigan was coming to play. They were not coming to park the bus here in Durham. They were coming to play, and because of that, this game has been wide open to start. Good ball sent across. Great job by Lopez to head it away. It'll fall. That's a great shot, but just missing. I love that shot, though, across the body, sliding in there for Michigan from Quinn Rogers.
And we see this build up again. Periano does a great job finding Amir. Amir comes around the corner, beats 1, beats 2, across the box. Scotty just missed it. Sometimes the easiest ones can be the hardest ones.
And for the record, there was no flag up. He was onside, so it would have counted if it went in. There was no flag over there.
No flag at all. And Scotty did a great job ahead of time. He found himself open. He ran to the right position, just couldn't finish.
You know who else did a great job? That pass from Periano. I mean, he puts just the perfect weight on all of his balls. If he needs to drill one, he drills one. If he needs to loft one to find a bounce, he has found the magic touch, and that was a great pass to Daly from Periano.
Extremely technical and skillful player. A little bit slight at size at times, but this year he's banging. He's able to win the physical battles, but he's always been able to thread those balls. Extremely good vision. He's always looking up before he receives the ball, trying to find the next outlet, puts his teammates in good positions to be successful.
"25 minutes remaining in this first half. Duke, without question, has had more of the dangerous opportunities, but it's not like Michigan has not had a couple. That'll be a foul against Periano. So quick restart here for Michigan, and they'll get it to Jens Hoff, the junior from Norway, who that is not what Shaka's going to want. And yeah, Shaka's talking to him right now. Yeah, Shaka basically said Buka was open, and let's keep it on the carpet.
Yeah, a little more composure. You know, they're a technical team as well. Like you said, they want to bring this game to Duke, but not in that fashion. They want to build it, get numbers up, and make sure they have the ability to attack with numbers.
Duke had a great preseason, outscoring their opposition 7-1, so they came into their first two games with a whole lot of confidence.
First undefeated preseason for Duke, I believe, since 2015.
That's a good nugget. Muhammad loves to tuck it in. Rare time for Muhammad to lose the ball. Doesn't happen very often. Rodriguez wins it, and Michigan, sometimes you got to go backwards to go forward, and that's what they'll try to do, is they'll bring it all the way back to Evans.
Great patience. Here's the composure we expect out of a Coach Daly team.
Bryce Blevins checking back for a little touch. Rodriguez will turn it over. Now Stroud. The keys to the car belong to number 8. And he drives it really well. Here's Periano. Wanted to get it to Muhammad. It was closed down. This one is ripped out of there by Masalas, but kept back by Hoff. Michigan will switch it over now to Nolan Miller. He's a freshman from Troy, Michigan, earning the start for Shaka Daly. They'll play it to Pacelli.
He's a freshman, another one of those really experienced guys. He played in Columbus Crew's MLS Academy. Got a chance to train with the first team several times. So he's essentially a college freshman who's had MLS training experience.
Yeah, another great example of that. A couple years ago, Aiden Morris played at the Columbus Crew Academy and went up to Indiana and was an absolute baller. And then the next year, he's playing for the Columbus Crew. They had some COVID issues. He gets the start in the MLS Cup, and I thought Aiden Morris was one of the best players on the field in what would have been his sophomore year in college. But because he played in that system, had a great experience at a school like Indiana, which is like Duke, like Michigan, he was ready for the moment.
He's an outstanding young player.
Halfway through the first half, Michigan now with a free kick and right at Hamill. And because we're halfway through the first half, let's ask Cedric Burke his thoughts. We'll start with the home team. They're in possession right now. Your thoughts on Duke?
I think it's been very good at times. I think it's gotten a little sloppy at times. You know, we see every time the play is reset, there's a conscious effort to get the ball back in the middle, typically to Peter Stroud or Kenny Hott's feet. Again, good ball over the top of Scotty, trying to open things up. You know, I think the Blue Devils have gotten out of their game plan a few times, but trying to work back into it. But again, had some great creative moments. Technically could have had 3 goals, 3 goal scoring opportunities. Definitely the one by Scotty Taylor.
Hearing the wisdom of Cedric Burke, your thoughts on the visitors from Ann Arbor here in the first half?
I think the visitors look really good. You know, came out early on, a few balls in the air, have since settled down, have done a good job breaking this Duke pressure, are trying to keep the ball on the target. Really similar to Duke, they want to come through the midfield, then get it wide. So I think this is a good game so far. Settled down. We'll see the space continue to open up as both teams further get into their game plan.
Hayden Evans has had to make a big save, and they got lucky as well as, without question, Scotty Taylor had a sitter and missed it. Otherwise, it'd be 1-0 Duke. That happens in this game for sure. Here's Daly, who was the player that created that pass for Taylor that I just talked about. Won back now by Bryce Blevins, the junior midfielder from Plainfield, Illinois, Plainfield North High School. Try to switch it to Buka. Boy, Hamill always positioned well.
Hamill did a great job of coming out to cut that off. That was actually a really good ball. If not for Hamill's foresight, that puts him in.
Hot will drop it back to Acito.
And again on that play, that was Buka. Getting on the end of it as a wingback, putting himself in position.
Lopez, Hoff making a run. Was not expecting this. Hoff makes a run. He stays up there at the moment. They'll give it to Buka. Buka. Actually would have liked Hoff to just keep on going to give a target for Buka. It'll go off of Duke. It'll be a corner kick Michigan.
And the Wolverines have actually seized the momentum in the last 5 minutes or so, and they've done it by stepping in front of balls. We just saw that ball. Shaq had it coming and didn't cut his man off, so Duke needs to get a little bit more energy right now.
See the stat line there, 1 corner kick apiece for Michigan and Duke. The Big Ten versus the ACC, Koskinen Stadium, a beautiful venue here on the campus of Duke, a beautiful campus. Corner kick Michigan, driven far post. They were looking for Hoff.
And on that note, I see a couple of Duke subs warming up. I see Wayne Frederick and I see Barajas, and they are both energy guys that will come in and immediately make an impact on this game.
Yeah, Felix Barajas, very cheeky, and Frederick can run downhill with the best of them. You had time with him too, right, Frederick? Was he on the Tobacco Road team or not? No?
He was not.
Okay.
Not yet. We hope to get him in the future, but no, he is coming in as a freshman. I've been very impressed with how dynamic he is. I mean, he's fearless. You know, he's played at a very high level in the youth system, but you know, he's fearless in this college game, and he can get up and down the wing. You see him coming in for Amir Daly. They play very comparably. Frederick's a little bit in terms of stature, longer, can stretch the side a little bit more, but very good player. Been very impressed with these young men.
High marks for Daly as he comes out. He looked really good in this first half.
A phenomenal start for Daly. I thought Amir was probably the best player on Duke's roster for the first 20 minutes.
Duke, your 1986 national champions. Michigan, by the way, did make it to the 2010 College Cup, a big-time campaign under the first coach, Steve Burns. Shaka Daly is the only second coach in the history of Michigan men's soccer, a program that has not been around that long. Here's a shot from distance, but not on frame, as Periano, why not take a heat check? The guy's been outstanding to start the season.
He has. He's been on fire in every way possible, usually as a distributor, but he's also put a few in the back of the net, so got to shoot from there.
Periano coming off a season a year ago where he tied for the team lead in assists with 7, but is looking to be a pretty good goal scorer this season as well.
Well, Periano's one of those guys that, again, does the little things. You know, the assist and the things that may not show up or you may not leap off a page. You know, he had one outstanding game against Pitt, but other than that, he was just a consistent force. Honestly, majority of the time as a sub in many cases, started many games, but just he's a guy that turns on as soon as he hits the field. Whether he's playing 90 or 10 minutes, you're going to get everything from him.
Michigan, Mustafa Al-Hasnawi, really working hard to keep this attack going as he had 3 Duke players around him and kept it going, and off of that it'll be another corner kick for Michigan. Shaka Daly now going to make 3 changes as he's going to get Oliver Martin, a freshman that he's very high from. It's not that often that you talk about players coming out of Vermont, but Oliver Martin is number 15, really looked good in practice yesterday. I really liked him a lot. Nicholas Cassidy is going to come into the game, and Cameron Martin, a 5th-year player from Mill Creek, Washington, as Pacelli will come out. Buka will also come out. And some instruction there to Zach Martins, another freshman from Gainesville, Florida. They've got 2 Martin and a Martins on this Michigan team.
A little hard to keep up with the times.
Good little ball in, but right to Hamill, read it perfectly. Fearless, always courageous, and he'll drop it to Muhammad.
Just like that. Pass out of the box, 3 seconds later, Shaq Muhammad's over midfield.
Yeah, he might be one of those unique talents that is just as fast with the ball at his feet without it. I mean, the guy can fly.
Absolutely. Some players you can just tell by their body language, their level of intensity, and the way they approach the game. Shaq's one of those guys. If you watch him, he just constantly looks hungry. He's constantly looking for the next play, constantly get involved.
Yeah, I like that you use the word hungry because that's the word that Shaka Daly used. So he watched a little bit of film and translated that into this hunger, and I love that you used that word.
Yeah, Coach Daly was very perceptive of how Shaq plays, and when we started breaking down players, Shaq was the first player he mentioned that they have to watch out for.
Sliding over is Jens Hoff to head it 20 yards or so. Second balls are going to be critical here. Oh, he wanted it right back. That was really nice, and he gets it right back. That touch got away from him, but he was fouled. Referee did a good job to bring it back on the initial foul, and Muhammad did a good job to keep on playing.
When you see it, he's constantly calling for the ball. He just gobbles space.
Yeah, he's got a good voice out there. So with the Duke changes, you'll see Barajas over on the left side and Frederick on the right side. Left wing back, right wing back as part of this what looks more like a 3-4-2-1, I would say, out of Duke. Here's Periano. Frederick. His first touch pretty good. Nice idea to cut back in and then stop and cut back. Here's Stroud now. Stroud always seems to make the right decision. I thought maybe he should have gone left, but he still created something great by going right.
Stroud is just one of those players who just finds a way to win his 1v1 matchups.
Full stop. Barajas. Oh, what a lovely ball! Yes! Duke has done it! And the big man from Iceland has scored again! Axel Gudbjornsson for Duke. Duke 1, Michigan 0.
Great build up on that goal. Very clinical finish. Right place, right time. Great ball, great finish. So again, we see this start with Periano. Gets over to Barajas, beats his man 1v1, plays a nice looping ball across. Alex measured it. Corner net. Great finish. Second goal in as many games for the young man from Iceland.
What a ball from Barajas.
Oh, great ball. Great ball, great pace, a little bit of backspin. Great finish.
What a weapon to have in one of your center backs to be 6'4" and have some pace and to make that run and be ready. And I want to go back to that ball again from Barajas. You talk about a perfect weight for somebody like Gudbjornsson to be able to head it back across the frame. I mean, how many times do you tell your youngsters to return it where it came from? And that's exactly what he did.
Well, there's one thing to be a good individual player, but to be a good teammate is about making your teammates better. And giving them a ball and putting them in a position where you make them, help them succeed, that's exactly what Barajas just did.
So 1-0 Duke. They've made some more changes as well as this team will go deep. Alex Bonington, a freshman out of England. And also into the game is Drew Kerr.
And Bonington's a different type of forward. He's more of a back-to-goal 9 who will hold it up and try to allow players to build off of him. Enter Drew Kerr, a very silky midfielder, may run in the family a little bit. He will combine well and look to build and get numbers up.
Yeah, John Kerr, a big-time player, long-time U.S. national team player, one of the first to go overseas and make a name for himself in multiple countries, and of course the son of John Kerr Sr., a legend of the game back to the NASL days, and really kind of becoming an iconic family. And now speaking of the Kerrs, we've got both Kerrs out there, Cameron and Drew, and I loved hearing John Kerr talking about how those two look for each other, particularly how the talented freshman, Drew Kerr, is looking for his senior brother, Cameron. Cameron hit a rocket shot against UW-Milwaukee. I'm telling you, 9 times out of 10, the ball's going in. It hit the top part of the crossbar, Cedric, and spun over. If it's just a little bit lower, it's going to spin down and in. He smoked that ball.
He absolutely did. Cam Kerr has a vicious shot, and I love seeing them play together. This summer, we actually had to play against each other. Drew Kerr, longtime NCFC product. Cameron Kerr was playing for us. Both Kerr boys scored. They bring the best out of each other every game.
How about that? Yeah. Good stuff. What was the final score in the game?
2-1 us.
All right, well done. I've heard about those games. Those are pretty good games, aren't they?
Those are competitive games.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some exciting, a lot of local products, a lot of competitiveness, a lot of pride in those games. We have a lot of fun.
Yeah, I got to get to one of those.
Yeah, come on out.
Yeah. Tobacco Road, they play in Durham, don't they?
Durham County Memorial Stadium.
There you go. That's been around a long time, too, right?
We're about 8 years in. You know, the club itself it existed in many ways before that, but in terms of formally at the semi-pro level, we're about 8 years in.
I meant the stadium, though, Cedric.
Oh, yeah, stadium's been around forever. Stadium is a Durham landmark, has been around forever.
That's what I thought. Well done. It's good that you've got 8 years running, though, on Tobacco Road. I learned something there as well. Thank you, sir. A little over 10 minutes remaining in the game. And the big man from Iceland, Reykjavik, Axel Gudbjornsson, as we said hello, Reykjavik, to close out that UW-Milwaukee game. And we'll say it again, as you got to figure the Gudbjornsson family is watching, as there's not a whole lot of dark time in Iceland, so they might as well stay up no matter what time it is and watch their son, I'm sure.
Well, that's the pipeline that Duke has really recruited, and there's been some, there was a guy who was a decent goal scorer last year from Iceland.
Big time.
So Alex looks to be picking up right where Thor left off from the back position.
A little move by Evans to escape Cameron Kerr, the senior. And there is Gudbjornsson.
Gudbjornsson's a guy he's had professional experience. He's played at a very high level in Iceland. As like many of these young collegiates that have played at a high level, this really isn't a huge step up for them, if any.
Good fight in the middle of the park from Drew Kerr. Stroud goes down. There's at least 1 or 2 times a half where an opposition will take Stroud down. He's that dangerous.
Well, he's that dangerous, and he also knows the game very well. Peter knows exactly what he's doing right now. He's talking to the ref, letting him know. Wouldn't be surprised if that starts getting called a little tighter.
On point. Aceto will start it after that whistle on the foul against Stroud. And here's Aceto, and he looks to get fouled as well. So now, just to clean things up here, man, Cedric, you got your A game here early, as that usually happens. If you have a hard foul and then 1 second later, you're going to get a card.
Yep.
All right, so now Shaka Daly wants to change things up just a little bit, as he's going to bring up Bodie Sal, a junior. Number 21 will come in the next opportunity. Aceto, high lofting ball. Avens spills it as Evans came out and missed it. Duke had another open goal. And Evans, lucky right there that it's not 2-0, be a corner kick for Duke.
Well, great effort by Frederick to get up and win that ball. And again, he was coming down from competing and wasn't right-footed, but wasn't on his right foot, rather. But again, another one right in front of the goal, probably should have finished. Great effort to get himself in position.
Taking the corner kick for Duke is Drew Kerr. His brother's coming over to potentially do a short one. Instead, a pretty good ball again, as climbing high there for Duke. Coming out of that back line was Lopez.
Great ball from Drew Kerr, and as you see, these center backs will get involved on set pieces often and frequently.
So Bodie Sal is going to come in for Bryce Blevins, as Shaka Daly trying to find the right magic here with under 8 minutes remaining in the first half, and his team down on the road to Duke 1-0.
Coach Daly, this formation has gone a little bit more defensive-minded in the last 5 minutes or so in response to that goal. As we can see, really one target forward. We'll see offensively, we'll see more step up, but we're not pressing or nearly as high on the pitch as we had been early in the match.
What's interesting, too, is one of the things you see as Shaka Daly makes changes. The tough part is he's thinking, okay, Duke's making changes, maybe I can capitalize, but I'm telling you, there's no drop-off. And it probably isn't for Michigan either, but I've seen Duke more so far to start the season. There's no drop-off from the Duke bench. I mean, they've got a second 11 in there as they played, I think, over 23 players in that 4-0 win, and all of them look pretty good.
Duke goes extremely deep. One thing that Coach Kerr preaches is next man up. Everyone be ready. Know your role in the field.
What a turn from Frederick. Saw the second Michigan defender, so brought it back, and he still stays with it.
Very impressed again with Frederick's patience, especially for a freshman.
Frederick sends it all the way over. Turney with it! Off the crossbar, lose Bonington with a brilliant turn and an even better release.
Great effort by Bonington to get himself in position. Unfortunate header didn't go, but again, Frederick did all the hard work on the sideline, beat his man twice, was patient, got it back. Great looping ball in.
Michigan trying to test that back line. Easier said than done against Lopez.
Very good composure and patience by Lopez. He played that ball perfectly, waited for the drop, didn't step in too early and let it get over his head or the player could by him.
Stroud. Bonington has stayed onside again. A great ball and a great run. Barajas, who has the assist. To the big man from Iceland, Axel Gudbjornsson, who has the only goal in the game. 1-0 Duke on top of Michigan.
Now going back to that last play, very smart play by Stroud. If you notice, Frederick was up, and because Duke has been so successful playing through their outside wings, Michigan's defense spread out instantly, waiting for that to happen. Stroud instinctively played the ball over the top and almost snuck him in.
Won by Aceto.
We look back at this again. We see Frederick playing it over. Great turn. Just unfortunate.
What a quick release, too.
It was. Yep. Quick trigger, great turn, great release. Everything but the goal.
Off the crossbar, the best friend of the sophomore goalkeeper, Hayden Evans. Gudbjornsson tries to send it over the top. They'll bring it back to Evans. Michigan won it for a second. Kerr won it right back. Then Bonington to Barajas. Kerr makes an overlapping run. He'll get it back.
Bonington does a great job thus far in this game holding the ball up. It's allowed Duke to get up, consistently play it in Michigan's defensive third. All starts with him holding that ball up, allowing his midfielders to come join him in the play.
Quinn Rogers whistled for the foul.
We see Stroud going down again, letting the referees know this is the third time I've been fouled.
Gudbjornsson will go off of Kerr and come back to Michigan. 3 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. Shaka Daly going to try to make one more change as the veteran Declan Gaffney, who played a ton a year ago, working his way back in to the lineup, the defender from Los Angeles.
And as you mentioned, a lot of experience. Declan's a fifth-year guy. This year specifically, we see a lot of schools with a lot of experience, a lot of these guys having COVID fifth years.
Shaka Daly in his 11th season after 12 years at his alma mater, where he was a big-time player at Providence. And when he first joined the quote semi-pro team or A-League team that John Kerr was a player coach on, John Kerr basically said, look, you got to put more work in, particularly on fitness, and he did. And he came back so strong that the next year he made the roster for Walter Zinga and the New England Revolution. So John Kerr telling us that he witnessed the growth of Shaka Daly as a player, committed to it, and basically I think was translating to his success as a coach.
May have been insinuating that a little bit. Now, we can see some of those lessons with Coach Daly's team. This is an extremely fit team. And again, Coach Daly gave Coach Kerr, they are friends, give each other the ultimate respect and courtesy. A lot of credit.
Yeah, you see that the Worcester Wildfire that became the Boston Bulldogs, John Kerr was the player coach in 98-99, and Shaka Daly playing in 99, and then making his way to the New England Revolution. Pretty impressive. Got back to his alma mater, had great success at Providence, and in his first year at Michigan, took Michigan to the NCAA tournament, took them to the Big Ten tournament final where they lost in overtime to Michigan State at Northwestern. So did a lot with players that he didn't know very well. Then they had to settle in, and then he had a run of 3 straight years at the NCAA tournament. The last 2 years, they probably were the last team out in both years. They were that close. So Michigan has become what I would call a perennial power, but, you know, of course, Shaka Daly disappointed that they didn't make it the last 2 years after that 3-year run.
Well, Coach Daly has extremely high standards, rightfully so, for this program. He's done an excellent job of recruiting. They will be back on that stage very soon.
.40 seconds remaining in the first half. Barajas to Gudbjornsson, the story of the game. Frederick. Well, there's nothing better than seeing confidence right in front of you. Frederick's got a whole lot of confidence.
So much confidence for a freshman. It's as if he's been here for years.
Michigan's got 14 seconds left. Trying to make a run with it is Sal. Martinez, the clock's going to be stopped as a Duke player may get a card here. Looks like Frederick will get the yellow.
Tactical foul.
So 6 seconds remaining, and with some of the big boys for Michigan, including Jens Hoff, who is almost as big as Gudbjornsson. He'll come forward. You'll also see Ryan Schultz, who's got good size as well, wearing number 3, be a decent target. And then look for Cameron Martin, who is famous for rebounds off of these opportunities, wearing number 17. They'll spin off, they'll send it in. It does find Hoff, but it'll go out of bounds, and that'll count down the final seconds here. And Duke, the number 17 team in the country from the ACC, with a 1-0 lead over the Big Ten's Michigan Wolverines.
Very balanced first half. I think it was back and forth. Great job with the Blue Devils with some very smart tactical subs. We saw the last 10 minutes or so, the game really slowed down. Did a great job of pinning Michigan back in their defensive third. I thought for the Wolverines, they played a very good half. Came out in the front foot. Honestly, probably had, you know, a couple of chances.
Me at 7:30 right here on ACC Network Extra. The Duke women, Robbie Church, becoming one of the best coaches, not becoming, he already is, one of the best coaches in the game, will take on number 3 UCLA. Cedric, we get the call for that great game as well.
Well, I'll tell you how great of a game that is. It's rare you see the men's game played before the women's game. That is going to be, if not the best. There's obviously another great matchup coming up this weekend with the UNC for those UCLA Bruins. This is arguably the best matchup in the country this week in women's soccer.
Yeah, they've got a new coach in Marguerite Awazaza, who spent 7 years under Paul Radcliffe at Stanford. And I'll tell you what, I have been blown away by her. She was a 30 under 30 member for United Soccer Coaches, so I got to know her there. But you've talked to a lot of coaches, Cedric, in your day. I mean, her pregame interview, pregame podcast interview, she sounds like a seasoned coach ready to get it done.
One of the most impressive coaching interviews or discussions I've had at any level. Her passion seeps out of every word. You can tell she's a player coach. She's only 10 years removed from her playing career at the collegiate level, but very impressed and very excited to see this team play this evening.
here, Muhammad. Losing it out of bounds. Rodriguez. Good restart here by Michigan, getting it to Quinn Rogers. Actually, probably could have held on to the ball a little bit longer and set up their offense. They win it back anyway, as Gaffney, who came in really late in the first half, comes back out there. Daly had a solid shift in the first half, a planned substitution. He's back out there to start the second half.
Daly had a very solid shift. As I said, I thought he was probably Duke's most valuable player in that first 20-minute stint. Again, we see right away, Michigan on the front foot. They're coming right as they did at the beginning of the game, taking this game to the Blue Devils.
Throw in from Gaffney. They tried to get it deep, but it'll be one bounce and over as they were trying to find Nicholas Kalukian, a freshman from Wayne, New Jersey, who gets to start the second half, wearing number 23 is Shaka Daly, trying to change it up front, as he's got Kalukian, and then on one side of him he's got Iñaki Rodriguez as part of this 3-4-3, and then on the other side he's got Cameron Martin, a fifth-year player out of Mill Creek, Washington.
A lot of size and experience in that front line, and we can see this resembles more of the true 3-4-3 that Coach Daly wants to play.
Daly. Muhammad was open a minute ago, and it'll be a corner kick Duke.
And Daly's picking up right where he left off. Leading the attack from that outside back position.
Amir Daly, a junior from Elmont, New York, Elmont Memorial High School. Corner kick for Duke. Masalas. Big time left foot, going near post with it, headed out of there by Michigan. Muhammad finds Periano, who first time it back to the man who started it. Masalas back to Periano! Wow, that looked really pretty. All but the final play there. Taylor was lurking to make it 2-0, but Evans got it. That was clean soccer from Duke.
Really good build up on that outside wing by Periano and Marsalis. Scotty Taylor made the correct run. He was right there. It was a great ball by Periano, just a couple feet in front of him. As you see again, Periano comes in, plays this Marsalis, plays off of it perfectly, gets the return ball right across the box. Great awareness by Hayden Evans to step in front of Scotty Taylor and win that ball.
Good ball to Buka. Buka, an extra pass, cut back, and right at Hamill. Unfortunate, as Nicholas Kalukian, the freshman.
And that's another example of Buka being in the right place at the right time and really knowing how to stretch this field. That quickly ball played out to the wing, gets it right back across. Good composure up top with the shot. Hamill, right place, right time.
Great transition as it was wide open, and Buka made a good pass across, but nothing to show for it. 7 shots for Duke, 3 for Michigan. As the Michigan player down right now is number 25, Dubin Oblio, who is another player that Shaka Daly had high praise for. He did not play in the first half, but he's out there now, and he's already down, unfortunately, for Michigan.
He's coming.
So Dubem Oblio, who is a freshman from Canada. Shaka Daly is also Canadian.
And as you said, Coach Daly extremely high on this young man. And in fact, he mentioned him as a potential starter, talked about how versatile he is. When we talked about substitute players that would make an impact, he was the very first player we discussed. And we hope the young man is okay. As we look, it looks like they get their feet tangled slightly. He comes down a little awkward on that right leg. Yeah. Hope he's okay.
You can see Shaka Daly getting Nolan Miller ready, the freshman from Troy, Michigan, Seaholm High School. And fair play to the Duke fans, giving a round of applause to the youngster.
And very good sign. He's able to walk off under his own will. Always a little scary when it's a non-contact looking injury.
Bill Chenevert, the longtime trainer for Michigan, he has been there forever. In fact, I think just about every year that Michigan has had a soccer program, he's been a part of it. He was named to the Michigan Athletic Trainer Society Hall of Fame. And a key part of the success of Michigan. Got to have a great training staff for sure, as you know, Cedric.
Especially at this level, these trainers do so much behind the scenes to keep these young men healthy and keep them on the field. You're absolutely right.
So Evans, after that whistle, will start the offense outside of his 18 for Michigan. We'll see what kind of press Taylor and Periano put on. They'll switch it over on the right side. Boy, Shaq can just close you down so quick.
And as you mentioned, the first half, he's one of those guys who's arguably just as quick with the ball as he is without it. And he plays both sides of the ball. He has the same tenacity offensively that he does defensively. That's one of the focuses for him coming in, areas that he can improve in coming into this season. What I respect about Shaq is obviously he was the ACC Freshman of the Year. He came in, he wants to improve. The kid wants to be a pro. He wasn't satisfied with that. He wants to get better every day.
And he is getting better every day, right in front of our eyes.
He is. Seems to mature by the game, even by the minute sometimes.
Buka starting to inject his energy into this game, wearing that 19 jersey. Not always easy when you're just on one side of the field, but Buka doing his best to make an impact for Michigan. Nice job by Iñaki to let the ball do the work.
And that turnover, even though Tino Lopez intercepted it in Duke's defensive third, that was called by Shaq. We saw him talking to Scotty Taylor, organizing that press. He got it to the right wing. Ball was a little loose because he was there, creating pressure.
Zach Martins will find the feet of Declan Gaffney.
Zach Martins, we mentioned the experience of these young Michigan players. Zach Martins, an Orlando City MLS Academy product. Another one of these guys with a lot of experience.
Gaffney, far post, but read by Hamill. Anything in and around the 6, Hamill has demonstrated that that ball belongs to him.
Hamill has complete control and authority of his box. His Duke back line knows it, and they have a lot of confidence with him behind them.
Muhammad taking this pass from Periano. Cheeky back heel to Daly, and Muhammad will get it back. Now he'll try to pick out a Duke blue jersey. Muhammad dancing on it. Muhammad across through Evans, loose, still loose, and now Evans has it.
And
wow.
That's where Muhammad's most dangerous. He backheeled that ball to Daly, came back at an onside position, got it back, created space for a 1v1 opportunity in front of the goal, played a great ball across the mouth of the goal. Scotty Taylor was there, Periano was coming. Unfortunately, just couldn't get to it.
John Kerr Jr. up off his feet. Here's the deal with that shot. He hit it so hard, it went right through Evans, and Muhammad going down just outside the 18, and are they going to give Muhammad a yellow on that one? There they are. I did not see what happened, Cedric.
He came in, he was trying to press and win the ball back, and he slid it behind.
Okay.
And fouled the Michigan defender.
Rodriguez, like Buka, wearing the captain's armband. They'll get it to Hoff. Jens Hoff. Now Nolan Miller started the game, the freshman from Troy, Michigan. Good work by Michigan to deal with the press from Duke.
Very good job by Michigan building that ball out of the back. Specifically Zach Martins.
Gaffney,
himself several times.
Sorry, Cedric. Gaffney was offside there on that attack anyway.
No. I mean, to that, Michigan, this offense can get going very quickly. Just like that, they're in their defensive third, winning the ball back, great combination play, and then they're in the Duke goal.
So here's Hamill.
Hold there, hold there, hold there.
Great to be alongside Cedric Burke, a former Duke Blue Devil under the great John Rennie, who was in Durham for the John Rennie Nike Invitational, was down on the field handing out the award winners for the John Rennie Nike Invitational Best 11. Always great to see the Hall of Famer here, and longtime member of United Soccer Coaches as well. So respected by the association as one of the true icons. Of course, John Rennie bringing Duke its first ever national championship in any sport. And I always love bringing that up because when you think Duke, you think Coach K and all his natties, but it was the men's soccer team that brought Duke their first national championship.
It was, and Coach Rennie, obviously a lot of great players played under him, very well respected, as you said. He'll be back in a couple of weeks for the UNC game when the Duke Final Four teams will be recognized.
Of course, that 86 team featured the player of the year in John Kerr Jr., Tommy Kane, a big-time player, Tom Stone, who has gone on to be one of the best women's soccer coaches for Texas Tech. And funny story, Cedric Burke, I'm kind of an old fat guy now, but hang on, Duke's got a shot here coming for Muhammad. But my first job as a broadcaster was the voice of the Rapids, and my analyst was Tom Stone.
Small world.
Yeah, he's a big-time analyst, too. If you know Tom Stone, do you know him at all? That man can talk.
He can talk, and he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
He is a wealth of knowledge on this subject.
Let's go. Gotta get out the box. Out the box. Come on, Jackson.
All right, Michigan. Well, just as I was thinking they were going to keep their attack going, taken right away, and Stroud in the middle of it. Gets it over to Muhammad. Stroud.
Kenny Hott did a great job stepping in there to win that ball. As you said, Stroud immediately showed himself open up. He's allowing this team to move the field with his patience and finding the right player. Shaq, probably a little too much 1v1. Got to get that ball up, get it off your feet.
Rodriguez wins it back. There's Hott again, getting stuck in and not fouling while he's doing it.
Been very impressed with Kenny Hott to start this season. Incredible prep career. He's another one of these freshmen for the Blue Devils that has stepped right in.
So a good ball to Kalukian, who was onside. So it'll be a yellow card given to Lopez, who came over in support. So now Michigan. And by the way, Nicholas Kalukian, who we did not see in the first half, he has been dangerous here to start the second half. Just take a look at this replay here.
He's been very dangerous. He's a big-bodied 9 who can hold the ball up. He's getting himself in the right positions.
So Kalukian from Wayne, New Jersey, part of Cedar Stars Academy, helped the Cedar Stars reach the quarterfinals in the MLS Next playoffs a year ago. This is just his second game.
He did a great job of stepping in front of Tina Lopez, who we've spoken at length as one of the more disciplined players in the Duke roster. Drew that foul and created this opportunity. A lot of numbers up for the Wolverines. Let's see if they can capitalize.
Rodriguez sends it in, trying to find the head of Hoff. It'll go off of Hoff and come back to Duke.
Great ball from Rodriguez. Hoff was in position. Tina Lopez just stepped in front and won that header.
So Simon Vasquez, a junior from Western Florida, Somerset Academy. Shaka Daly's always done a really good job recruiting the state of Florida. It is one of his favorite places. I've ran into Shaka Daly in Florida during USYS or ECNL tournaments that I'm calling. He is always ever present, as Scotty Taylor making a really good run, denied there by Evans, still alive here, and finally cleared out by Ryan Schultz wearing the 3 jersey.
Good job by Scotty Taylor to win that 50-50 battle. Hayden Evans stepped in, was able to just get a finger on it to deflect it.
Muhammad looking for Daly. Daly. Good job by Gaffney, who's had a solid second half here. Rodriguez trying to run it down. Stroud, as clean as they come on the tackle, comes up with the ball. And then a little bit misunderstanding there between Daly.
Misunderstanding between the two, but if we go back, again, very good job, again, by Declan in the back, winning that ball. Michigan just not able to build out to get it out.
I want to thank the SID's Henry Scott for Duke, and one of my all-time favorites, Megan McIntosh for Michigan, who was outstanding at Penn State, stayed at the Big Ten, going to Michigan. Now the mother to a young son, I'm sure watching on right now as we send our best to Megan McIntosh, M squared at Michigan. It doesn't get any better than that, if you know what I'm talking about, Cedric.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Doesn't get much better.
Another whistle, and Stroud will have the restart right in front of Shaka Daly. So I mentioned Shaka was the coach at Providence. He had a big-time goalkeeper in Johan Obando, who really reminded me of Jorge Campos. So I'm dating myself a little bit, but not very big, was not afraid to dribble all over the place. It wasn't like he would switch jerseys and play forward like Jorge Campos, but extremely acrobatic. And now he is the second in command as Daly is in. Daly denied by the sophomore goalkeeper, Evans.
That's a great save by Evans. I mean, Amir Daly has been probably more effective as an offensive threat than he has defensively. He's really getting the box, mixing it up. He's fearless on the attack, has a lot of confidence in the box, has beaten multiple players.
Well, you nailed that one. Daly has been electrifying offensively.
Yeah. And really 2 years ago, he was playing as a more right mid position and really pushing up and played more as a right back. Last year, now he's in a hybrid position where he has the defensive responsibilities. But as we can see, he sets up very highly on the field and is constantly an outlet offensively.
That's a really good header that time from Michigan's Nolan Miller. And it's starting to get a little chippy here.
Here we see Amir Daly again, sets up wide, receives this ball, immediately cuts in, beats one player, and he's got an eye to goal. Beats the second guy right in front of the goal. Well taken shot. Hayden Evans, great save. Amir Daly's a young man we had in for half the summer. He split his time between us and the Long Island Rough Riders, and he immediately raised the level, especially of our defensive unit. Very skillful defensive player that has a uncanny tactical awareness for the game, for his position. Very impressed with Amir.
Michigan, angled ball, trying to find Gaffney. Is picked off there by Elliott Hamill. Hamill, who rolled it earlier to Muhammad. We showed you that before we started the second half. Now he rolls it to Daly, taken away here by Rodriguez. Rodriguez, a big heart, a big engine. You can tell the captains right now, Rodriguez and Buka, really trying to change the flavor of this game here, but now Muhammad is on it. Muhammad, a little bit of pressure from Vasquez, who's come off the bench, and they'll get it out wide. In a flash, Duke back in the offensive attack.
Uncharacteristic mistake by Gerbernsen in the back. Great job recovering and getting behind that ball, which really is what allowed Duke to build it out. Shaq again grabs it. He's up the field in no time. We're in the attack.
Stroud will lose it.
Starting to see some frustration from Peter Stroud. He holds himself to a high standard. He gets right back in it and wins that ball back.
Stroud gives it back to Muhammad. Muhammad just so good at eliminating defenders, and his shot miss hits, and Michigan will have it back.
Well, we see after that shot, Shaq immediately put his hands up and looked at Amir Daly and apologized. Amir was making a run and was wide open. That was probably the outlet he should have seen, but he was looking for that far corner and took a shot.
Always a pleasure to work over at Duke for Chad Lampin, our producer. Caleb Waters, big-time soccer guy, always does a great job. Audio, Jeff Anderson. Cameras, Chris Metzloff, Anthony Hanaz, Christopher Dubois, Philip Robinson. I'm working alongside Cedric Burke. Peter Summers is also helping out. Zach Powell, Wesley Myers, Matt McCula, and Will Black. Big-time people doing big-time work here. As we're playing two here tonight. We got this one, and then we got #2 Duke women taking on #3 UCLA women. That coming at you right around 7:30 right here on ACC Network Extra.
Great night of soccer in the Bull City this evening.
Boom. Good Bjornsson. Michigan has shown sparks. Ready to get the equalizer. Can they do it? Kalukian gets around Lopez, and once again, you've got to get it away from Hamill. It has to be outside the 6, or it is Hamill's ball.
Michigan has been very effective on the counterattack this evening. We see it even more so in the second half. just haven't been able to combine in that final offensive third. But they're moving it quickly. They're breaking down this Duke defense.
Nice change of pace from Shaka Daly to bring in Kalukian here to start the second half. Interesting take as he made multiple subs but saved Kalukian to start the second half. And I like that move sometimes. Bring on a guy right in the opening whistle where they're like, who's this guy? And he's been effective.
Yeah, some guys are change of pace guys. You know, they specialize in coming in limited minutes or specialized roles and can really change a game. Great tactical move by Coach Daly. This is going to become more and more of a chess match as the minutes tick on between Coach Daly and Coach Kerr.
Tough ball for Miller to get to, but he does. Gaffney plays it back. Gaffney, the veteran, has also settled things down, I think, a little bit for Michigan, playing that left wing back spot. Here's Rodriguez.
Gaffney's very smooth on that ball. Very patient, finds outlets, typically doesn't force things.
Periano, Taylor, chested down, flag is down, taken down, and it'll be at the spot, and it'll be a penalty. Periano, as he brought it into Taylor, Taylor took it down perfectly, off his chest, turned, and is clipped. So it'll be a penalty kick now for Duke to try to make it 2-0.
It looks like we have a little battle between Periano and Stroud. Who's going to take this? I think Peter Stroud's going to win. Great job by Scotty Taylor getting himself in the right position. We see Scotty open up. Great ball by Periano. Scotty's there, brings it down.
No video now.
Well-deserved PK.
What a ball from Periano. How many times have we said that the last few games?
We've said it many, many times. Periano, again, a well-placed ball. Scotty opens up, does a good job putting himself in between the defender and the goal.
Stroud to make it 2-0 and hammers it home. Duke on top of Michigan by 2.
Well-earned goal from the Blue Devils. Peter Stroud with his characteristic goal celebration. So we see again Periano, well-driven ball. Scotty Taylor brings it down, earns his PK. Peter Stroud, the locomotive of this team, steps up. Well-placed ball. Boom. 2-0 Blue Devils.
First goal of the season for Stroud to go with 2 assists, coming off a year where he had 4 goals and 4 assists. He was named the ACC Midfielder of the Year his freshman year, where he also started every single game. He had 3 assists. He came in as a freshman ready to roll, and he keeps on rolling. First goal of the season. Duke is rolling as well. They now lead at 2-0 over Michigan.
And Peter Stroud came in this year with a focus on putting more points on the board. Freshman year was more of a true 6, sitting back. He's a box-to-box guy. Bringing Kenny Hyde in has really allowed Stroud to step up and play as more of an 8, even step into that 10 role when he needs to. First goal of the season, but he had 2 electric goals in the preseason.
His last goal coming a year ago against the UCLA Bruins on November 21st. And he scored again. 5 career goals, 9 assists for Peter Stroud. Big-time talent.
And that was a big-time goal against UCLA in the NCAAs last year. Big-time players step up when the lights come on at big-time moments.
Stepping up is the big man from Iceland. As Muhammad, thrown to the ground right there, has a legitimate complaint, I think, against Nolan Miller.
Yeah, I believe that was a foul. It was a great turn by Muhammad getting himself in position. He can just so quickly open up space for himself.
So as you mentioned, Duke did lose Thor Ufarsson to Major League Soccer in his 15 goals, but 63% of the goals from last year did return, despite the departure of Ufarsson. So yes, that's a big loss, but plenty of talent behind him, and we're seeing it to start this season as Duke looking to move to 3-0.
As you said, Dean, big-time loss. Thor's one of the best goal scorers the college game has seen in recent memory. But talking to Coach Kerr about that loss, yes, it's a loss, but it's an opportunity for other guys to step up. Tons of talent. on this team, whether they be incoming guys or guys that are already in the roster, and we're already seeing it. Guys are stepping up, playing their role, haven't missed a beat.
Michigan trying to get one back here. They switch it. They go deep to the bench as Mustafa El-Haswani is back in there. As Al-Hasnawi started the game. Senior from Dearborn, Michigan. Back into the game now for Shaka Daly. Rodriguez will get it to Buka. Buka, pretty good ball. Far post. Knocked down. And too late for Bryce Blevins to pounce. Still one back by Michigan, looking to find Blevins. Once again knocked out of there.
Typically the first 5 minutes after scoring a goal is when you can be most acceptable by a team trying to counter. We can see the energy already has been raised by this Wolverine squad following that goal, some immediate chances. Duke's gonna have to be careful to stay disciplined in the near future to keep these Wolverines off the scoreboard.
Cameron Kerr, solid first half, coming off a solid second half against UW-Milwaukee. Will come back into the game. Taylor is going to come out, and Periano is going to come out. As Nick Periano, I feel like we need to say his name a few more times because he is looking to me like a player that needs to be on the ACC watch list. I mean, this guy has really stepped up his game.
Well, talking to Coach Daly, the first player he mentioned was Shaq Muhammad. The second was Nick Periano. So I completely agree. He is a rising star in the ACC, has improved significantly season over season. Big things coming.
Speaking of big things, this freshman from Iceland has scored a couple goals, but also defensively, again, he looks more like the guy in the middle, but he's got some soft feet.
Oh, he's versatile. He's versatile, you're right. He's a stereotypical center back in terms of stature and size, but he has the ability where he can play as an outside center back in a three-back system. Saw him play a little bit. He's played outside, a true outside back before as well.
That's a foul, though, on Axel, and I wonder if they'll bring that one back. I'm not sure if the referee saw it, but Axel did not get ball on that tackle, Cedric.
No, he did not. He did not. That is one. The referees aren't perfect. They're human as well. That was a missed one.
Yeah, Shaka Daly not too happy about. Yeah, he is chatting up the fourth official because both of the tackles coming from Axel here in the last 10 minutes have been right in front of the fourth official.
Well, he's letting the fourth official know, and I wouldn't be surprised when the next one, Axel's got to be careful because they're going to be watching him.
Taking a look at the schedule, Michigan will be back in Ann Arbor on the 5th to take on Bowling Green, which is not an easy out. The MAC is getting better every single year as these mid-majors are stepping up. Meanwhile, for the Duke Blue Devils, ACC season starts as they'll head to Louisville, and then they'll be back here on the 16th to welcome the Tar Heels.
That's a big one. Never want to look ahead, but that is a massive game.
Now, to me, this is where John Kerr Jr. continues to impress me every single year. As last year, man, they needed a big year, and they delivered. Coach Kerr and Coach Brady, and you just saw what Bjornsson had been doing, and they take him out and sit him down. I think that's smart.
That was extremely smart. One, you want to allow your freshmen to build confidence. Saw he's struggling a little bit, had a couple of tackles in a row, knew he was in position to potentially get a card. Last thing you want to do is finish the game down 10, so they take him out.
He got a red card, so he was forced out, so much for. So
completely missed that. Yeah, completely missed that. Didn't realize he picked up the second yellow.
So apologies to the folks at home that probably did know that. We did not see that second yellow. So much for giving John Kerr credit, as that's going to be pretty costly. So it'll be the opposite end there.
Well, you called it. We saw it coming. You know, we saw he was struggling a little bit, and as a freshman, that's when you can get a little emotional, and you know, we probably gave Coach Kerr a little bit too much credit. Maybe didn't get him out quite soon enough.
That's fine, yeah, that's fine.
Well, here's the next challenge for the Blue Devils. They're obviously down a man. We saw they brought in Amir Daly to solidify the bag. They're going to condense the lineup. They'll bring one attacking player back to make sure they're whole defensively. 20 minutes to go. Let's see if Michigan take advantage.
Sent across. Spilled there by Hamill. Muhammad. Cameron Kerr. Kerr. Far post, yes! Down a player, doesn't matter! Cameron Kerr, unbelievable
Cameron Kerr is living up to the Kerr name. Absolutely electric play. 3 passes just beat the entire Wolverine defense. Again, Blue Devils playing down a man. What a response. We just said this is the challenge to see how they respond. Blue Devils 3-0.
We didn't see the second yellow to Gudbjornsson, but we saw all of this and down a player. Unbelievable here. What a ball.
It's a great clearance from Shaq out of Duke's defensive third. We see Berejas smartly let that ball go in the middle. Cam Kerr gets on it. Perfectly looped ball to the far post. Great finish. Good job by Luke Thomas. Being in the right place, right time. Great response.
Great ball from Cameron Kerr across the face of the goal. And as we've been talking about how Michigan has not been able to keep it away from the hands of Hamill, Duke's service away from their goalkeeper Hayden Evans has been outstanding. And so a little bit of surprise there is that second yellow, although not too much surprise because we were calling for yellows on Gudbjornsson. Missed that second yellow. He gets sent off with the red. And what a response. I mean, you just don't see that often, scoring goals down a player, and Duke did it within minutes, within seconds of Gudbjornsson being sent off.
Again, a sign of a well-coached team that's composed and has great culture. No one freaked out. We saw the captains calm the team down, stayed together. Great response. Now, this is a blue-collar lineup in for Blue Devils. This is a great adjustment. These are all guys who will work very hard, cover their position. We see Cam Kerr playing more as a false 9, which isn't his natural position, but it's because he's going to work hard. And being down a man, he's going to eliminate some of that advantage for the Wolverines.
Peter, stay in here, Peter. Peter, stay in. Peter, left. Peter, right. Peter, right. Step.
Evan Rasmussen into the game. The senior from Libertyville, Illinois, Libertyville High School.
So we can see the adjustment from both teams. Wolverines are pushing extra numbers up. They want to exploit this advantage. The Blue Devils are sitting in. Now, they're not packing in terms of not, trying to play and continue playing their game, but sitting much deeper in terms of their line of confrontation and letting the play come to them a bit more.
3-3. Go. Step.
Right side. Duke wins it back. And it's going to roll out of bounds. Duke down to 10 players, but scoring with the second yellow issued to the big man from Iceland, who has scored in back-to-back games, but he will miss the next game at Louisville. And I think it'll mean he won't even travel. I think that's standard fare, right?
Yeah, he won't be able to travel. He'll miss that one. Learning lesson for him. Fortunate it happened early in the season, but he will not be available against Louisville. He'll be back for the Tar Heels.
Tina, we've got to keep pushing the line. We can't just sit. When it goes negative ball,
So a little bit of a head collision, and the referees have done such a great job over the last several years with concussion protocol. Cameron Kerr, who got the helper on that third goal, they'll do the concussion check on him, and as part of that, they'll bring Periano back in, and he's ready to go. Nick Periano doesn't need a warm-up. He's ready to get back in there.
Yeah, I hope Cam Kerr is okay. It's unfortunate, but there's absolutely no drop-off. I think Periano was off the bench running to the score table before Coach Kerr even looked at him.
Peter, too deep. Peter, we need you higher. Good.
Mustaba will send it all the way back to Schultz. 3-0 Duke, including a third goal scored down a man. Al Hasnawi, that's a pretty good ball back over. Finds the feet of Kalukian. Kalukian's been a handful. And a push from Nolan Miller. All right, let's take a look at this second yellow. Okay, so that was the foul that we were talking about, and
just didn't see the second yellow.
Yeah, and that's what they gave him to. So well done by the officiating crew, because then Shaka Daly started really chirping to the fourth officials, which is what we were watching when that second yellow card was given. And well done by the officials to come back to that, because that was a yellow card.
Yeah, it absolutely was. I mean, a little over-exuberant by the freshman stepping in when he should have let that ball come down, but great job by the officials keeping this game honest. I think Bertson knew right away. You saw him put his hands out. It's tough playing with the yellow, and you have to be careful in that situation.
It's going to roll all the way out of bounds as the Duke Blue Devils with a 1-0 win over Brian Quinn, a good friend of his, to start the season in the John Rennie Nike Invitational. And then 2 days later, a 4-0 win over Chris Kelderman, another great friend. In fact, Chris Kelderman's wife played at Virginia with John Kerr Jr.'s wife and actually stayed at the house. And John Kerr Jr. waxing his friends right now, though, right? As they have not allowed a goal, and they've outscored the opposition 8-0 to start the season.
Very impressive start for the Blue Devils. They're sticking to the game plan. As we said earlier, Coach Kerr wants to score early, score often, and really the next step in maturation of this team is learning how to put teams and games away.
Check the backpack. Check the backpack.
Sent back across, right to Hamill. Hamill just trying to use up a few more seconds, 17 minutes and change. But a whole lot of wood to chop here for Michigan Wolverines at the moment.
Getting a little bit chippy in the box between Hamill and Rasmussen. Referee wisely calms the game down, speaks to the players.
Good to see the Canadian back in there. Remember, he had that, what looked like just a hyperextended leg there for a moment, but back into the game for Shaka Daly and the Michigan Wolverines.
Definitely good to see him out. I'm glad it wasn't a more serious injury.
Bryce Barnum, and he'll run out of space right there. It'll come back to Michigan as Cameron Kerr passing all the concussion protocol. He had the great assist, so he's coming right back in for Periano.
So we see even down a man with a 3-goal lead. As you mentioned earlier, Coach Kerr's done a good job of getting experience for the entire depth of this lineup. You know, we see a few younger guys in there, even in this moment, getting this valuable experience that will pay off later in the season.
Quinn Rogers looking for Buka. Hamill. Oh, what a move by Hamill, and it paid off for him. That was a big-time move.
It was. Held my breath a little bit. I didn't know if that was out of bounds, but it was a very wise move by Hamill in the corner. And we see Hamill in the corner. This is his experience. Fifth-year guys, played a lot of games. Just fakes it, lets it roll through, goes out of bounds. Time to reset, knock a few seconds off the clock, and take a goal kick.
Buka. Staying onside is Al Hesnawi. Looking for Kalukian. Kalukian! Ooh, went near post. That was a rare time where I actually feel like he may have had Hamill beat near post, but it was the wrong side of the post, and no harm, no foul. Duke's still up 3-0.
Yeah, Hamill stepped up to that 6 to cut off the through ball across, and you're right, that was a smart move to go near post, and he might have had Hamill had he hit it on target.
Daly looking for Kerr. Kerr cleaned up by Stroud. So getting a run here is Bryce Barnum, the freshman from League City, Texas, and the Texas Connections Academy into the game, wearing number 18. Did not see him in that 4-0 win over UW-Milwaukee. picked up by Miller.
And that's one of the few mistakes Amir Daly has made this evening, just a misplaced ball.
Over the years, Michigan Wolverines, they've had some of the best attacking players in the country. Francis Atua-Henne, Jack Hallahan, two big-time players, All-Americans, and they're missing that kind of player, I think, right now. They've got to find a player like Shakir Muhammad, like Stroud, like Periano that can take over a game almost all by themselves.
You're right, a lot of really good players on this Michigan team, and a lot of young players who are going to get better with more game experience and time. But so far in this game, not that dynamic change of game type of performance that we're used to seeing from some of these elite Michigan players.
Spinning on it. Why not go for the brace? And denied there by Hayden Evans, who's been busy this entire game, extremely busy.
Now Luke Thomas is a guy, former walk-on, done a great job earning consistent minutes, respect of his teammates, respect of his coaches. He's a dynamic player, had a great summer with Charlotte Independence this year, and he's come back ready to play.
Flag stays down for Kalukian. No, just missing it. If anybody deserves a goal, and it's all in the second half, is the freshman from Wayne, New Jersey, Wayne Hills High School, Nicholas Kalukian.
We see this again. Great build up in the midfield. Very composed, bringing that ball down. Kalukian up top. Again, he's the target guy. This has changed a little bit of the Michigan attack. This second half, just put it a little bit wide. Now, really from the Blue Devils, and I imagine Coach Brady's telling them this right now, they're getting a little spread out. And with 10 men down a man, 11 minutes, 12 minutes left, it's time to really calm this game down, see it out, make sure they're sitting in. A little bit too much open space for the Wolverines to create right now. The last thing you want to do if you're the Blue Devils is give up a goal and give Michigan any other advantage than being up a man right now.
Now Hasnawi fouled by Frederick.
Face it! Nothing quick! Face it! Amir, get in! Amir, get in! Peter,
Shaka Daly going to make some changes here to try to make a final push.
Miggy, leave it! Miggy, leave it! You're not blocking! Get in! Get in!
Rogers.
Go, step!
Bilo. Back to Rogers. Christian Pacelli waiting to come on with Nicholas Cassidy, Rasmussen, and Kalukian. Two Duke Blue Devils. No whistle on Frederick, and Frederick does well to knock it off of Michigan. Duke ball.
Well, we mentioned the subs coming in, specifically Pacelli. We know what he did last game against Gonzaga, in the 82nd minute. We've got 80 minutes left in this match. Let's see if he can make an immediate impact for these Wolverines.
More players coming on now with this comfortable 3-0 lead. Even down a man is Miguel Ramirez, the junior from Lawrenceville, Georgia.
I think in this situation, regardless of the ultimate outcome, it's a great opportunity for both of these coaches to get experience in different ways. So we see Coach Daly bringing in some guys to get them this exposure in this stadium against the magnitude of an opponent, switch up the looks a little bit.
Substitution for Michigan coming into the game for 12, Nicholas Cassidy, and for 16.
Boy, Kalukian got everything but a goal as he comes out here. Really good shift here as he started the second half and went all the way to about 9:30. But unlucky as Hamill's been very good. Once again cleared by that Duke back line, which will have to change at Louisville as Axel Gudbjornsson, a deserved second yellow, just missed the referee giving him to him. We were giving credit for John Kerr Jr. for pulling him in, but he's out now for the next game.
He is, and it'll be interesting to see. You know, Frederick could possibly play a role. There's a lot of guys who could step in. Lewis McGarvey is a guy who's a perennial starter for Duke, who's coming back from injury, just started training this week. Not sure if he'll be ready, but next man up. There's a lot of things Coach Kerr can do with this lineup to compensate for Axel being out next game.
Get out, Ruben.
Really read well on that far side again by Thomas. Dropped by Thomas. And played back to Evans. Evans got to roll it out quickly. Michigan needs a mini miracle here. They are up a player. So if you're Shaka Daly up a player, you're hoping you can at least get one just to build on as you head in with Bowling Green arriving in Ann Arbor for their next game. That's not going to be a walk in the park either. Bowling Green's a good program. There's a lot of good MAC programs right now.
Bowling Green definitely a program on the rise, had a lot of quality players. And you're right, there are definitely lessons to be learned. You won in this game on a high note, building block going into the next match, continue building for the season. This is a very important final 8 minutes for both teams. If you're Duke, you want to preserve the shutout, get rewarded for the tremendous effort this evening. If you're Michigan, you're right, you want to get one on the board, maybe spark something going into the next match.
Duke is fine with a 3-0 lead with Michigan playing it to their back three. Now they'll cross midfield. Looking for Pacelli, but Hamill, who has been in the right place at the right time the entire game for Duke.
And like a seasoned vet, Hamill falls on that ball, taking a few additional seconds off the clock, allowing his team to reset, catch their breath, get up, get back in position, put some pressure on this Michigan defense.
That was a major boost in the offseason when Hamill decided to return as a graduate student at the Fuqua School of Business and use his extra COVID year. Bonus time for John Kerr, Coach Brady, and the rest of the coaching staff for the Duke Blue Devils.
Massive towards the efforts this season, and there were quite a few of these guys who had the potential to leave school and go pro, and I think they all are coming back with the same mentality of they want to reach the promised land and really fulfill what they thought they should have been able to do last season with a very strong postseason effort.
More changes. Hot will come out for Drew Kerr, the freshman, wearing number 22.
Great shift by Kenny Hott tonight. Another one of these freshmen that continues to improve every game. He's been consistent from the day he set foot on campus. Going to be a big year for him.
Vasquez, wearing number 24, will try to get in here for Michigan late. Frederick. This is Duke down a player, and another decent opportunity for the Duke Blue Devils.
Marsalis had an eye towards goal, had Luke Thomas on the wing for the little layoff he probably could have played, but it's hard not to take that shot. With a head of steam running into the ball, played back on 18 like that.
The Duke Blue Devils in the 36th minute get the second goal of the season from the freshman from Reykjavik, Axel Gudbjornsson. They add a penalty kick goal in the 63rd minute by Peter Stroud. And then in the 68th minute, Luke Thomas, perfect pass from Cameron Kerr. That came after the second yellow to Axel Gudbjornsson, as Axel Gudbjornsson had received one right before the end of the first half. As they snuck one in on there, we definitely knew that was a yellow card. We thought the ref missed it. He pointed it out, and now he'll miss the next game. But nonetheless, Duke will move to 3-0 on the season, off to a rocking start.
Rocking start is right, Dean. Left off, picked up right where they left off end of last season. But now it gets real. This ACC season starts this week, and there will be no off nights.
Blevins. Hoff.
3-1, go with it.
So Duke will start looking for the corners. Stroud's going to keep this ball. As you see, he'll dribble to the corner. Smartly plays it back, the reset. Last thing you want to do is have a turnover in the middle of the pitch to give Michigan an opportunity to counter against you.
Three minutes and change remaining. Now Hasnawi. Rasmussen collides with Hamill. And Rasmussen will get a yellow card. And he's knocked to the ground, and it'll be Acito also getting a yellow card.
So we see a few things there. See Hamill step in, win that ball. Ref's going to protect the keeper. Let's look at this again. We see Hamill step in, wins this ball. Very competitive play against Rasmussen. Ref smartly protect the goalkeeper. And then we see Acito protecting his goalkeeper. He's a freshman. He's protecting his goalkeeper, but probably don't want to be that obvious right in front of the referee.
So Rasmussen will get the yellow, and did a little bit of performance there as Acito. I don't know if Acito even touched him and he went down.
I don't know if Acito's strong enough yet to throw him that far.
Rasmussen's a big boy. As coming in now for Duke is number 30, Alex Bonington, who had some fantastic moments in the first half.
Well, and we see now we can give Coach Kerr credit. He sees his freshman getting a little emotional. 2 minutes left. Last thing you want to do is see something flare up and that continue.
Now we're right.
Now we're right. Brings him out.
First time for everything.
Great job, young man. Take your boots off. Calm down.
Kerr. Duke with that next man up mentality after the second yellow and subsequent red. Too Good Bjornsson has looked just as good as they did when they had 11 out there, in my opinion, Cedric. They have really been outstanding.
Well, they have, and the continued effort. I mean, Bonington just, Luke Thomas is 1v5 in the corner over there, holds it up. Great effort for the Blue Devils. They're truly playing all 90. They do not want to give anything up. And Bonington is just relentlessly chasing this attack up front, really doing the role of two guys with the Blue Devils being down one in terms of setting that press.
Sac-a-Daily coach team, no matter the score line, will fight to the final second as they put together a pretty good build-up here. Trying to drop it over in front, and they will earn a corner kick with less than 90 seconds remaining.
That was a good build-up and a good, again, another good driven ball across the box. You see Tino Lopez step in and clean it up. He's been the picture of consistency for this entire game.
Entire season.
Entire season is right.
Michigan headed out of there by Taylor. And Hamill will try to take 10, 15 seconds here on this free kick with Christian Pacelli in front of him.
Again, the little things. Hamill could have picked that ball up. Allowed him to come to his feet. Michigan to come to him and press him. Knocked another 15, 20 seconds off the clock.
Kerr wanting a throw in. Well done by number 22, Drew Kerr, the freshman. Part of the Accelerator School, led by former Duke Blue Devil Terry Ransberry in combination with John Kerr Jr. and a few others. 10 seconds remaining here.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
Duke has moved to 3-0. Cedric Burke with a 3-0 win over Michigan.
Great win for the Blue Devils this evening. Really was a collective team effort. A lot of different players did their role, but there was not a drop-off no matter who was in the lineup for the Blue Devils. They really stuck to their game plan, and that's playing the ball through the middle and getting it wide. Great wing-back play. Mr. Stroud scored one this evening.